Welcome to our Substack Live. This week, I'm coming to you live from Oakland, California. I'm Beth Barany, and with me is Gala Russ. We are both writers and writing teachers. So excited to come to you today and talk to you about a marketing topic that we heard folks were interested in. And it's all about how to run a book review campaign. And both Gal and I have tips for you. Just a little heads up, I write science fiction and fantasy. And currently I'm writing short stories that I'm going to turn into scripts because I have the very ambitious plan to make a TV show of my own that I will produce. And so I am dictating little stories in my series and slowly then converting them to script. So that is a really exciting process that I'm on. And I support science fiction and fantasy writers through my edit lab and a mastermind and one-on-one. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that at the end. Gala, tell us about what you're working on and how you help writers.
Hi, I'm Gala Russ, and I am a published romance author. I have 9 books right now that I published with my co-author under Willa Drew. So if you want to check it out, I write. So with Willa Drew, we had some completely not spicy YA romance. We blend series, and then we had spicy series that is Not a Fake Chance. So kind of like a little bit of everything. And right now, I am writing a first fantasy novel for myself. I've kind of wanted to write it for many years. I was very much afraid of the scope because this is a trilogy, because if it's fantasy, it's so hard to write short in general. And I am about midway through my first book. I am right around the midpoint. I'm about 50,000 words in, and it's been very challenging in interesting ways. I'm learning how to wield very large scopes of things like on my own. It's very easy to give advice to other people how to wield all of the subplots and threads, but then when there's your own subplots and threads, you're like, oh my God, there's so many things and so many additional characters. So that's what I'm working on writing wise. And then for my book coaching work, I am finishing up my deep dive and summer edition courses that were my summer courses. Next week is going to be, this week is the last week that we're teaching. I had such great relationships with all the people. I'm going to miss them so much, but we have a Discord, so we're going to still stay in touch. And then in September, my new adventure is I am going to do a Write Your Novel one-on-one VIP, which is only 6 people. It's very, very hands-on, kind of like not a one-on-one exactly, but it's close as you can get a one-on-one for not as much of an investment. And then I'm starting again teaching the classes that I teach in person with my local arts and rec community for the city of Walnut Creek. I'm starting a second week of September, Write Your Novel 101 and Write Your Novel 201. And those are hybrid classes. I've agreed with the city. We had like a whole negotiation. So people who cannot attend locally can actually join. I'm going to talk about that. And also people who attend locally, like if you're traveling or something like that, there's going to be the component where you can, or sick, a lot of people get sick throughout, 12 weeks, so they can join. So that's going to be my main focus in September, all of those 3 classes. That's a lot. Plus school year is fully on. So.
That's so great. That's so great. And also, Gala and I run the Creative Entrepreneur Incubator. Gala has been a client of mine, building up her book coaching business. And now we support other people who want to write, who write already and want to build a creative business. So that's something else that we run. You can find that on Substack. So today we're going to talk about arcs. I'm really excited about that. And we also want to know, what are you working on? What kind of story what kind of story, what genre are you working on? We love to support you. Are you in the marketing phase? So today we're going to talk about how to get book reviews. I have a strategy on how to get book reviews for books that are already published, as well as books that you're launching. Gala has some great strategies for if you're launching your book. And because I've been published now, 15 years, I have 3 series out, I sometimes do book review campaigns for books that are already published. And that's totally legit. I'm an independent author, can do whatever I want. So, but when I read your notes, Gala, I was so taken by how I feel like I'm old school and you're so modern, because your first step in your list was like, make a video. And I was like, whoa, make a video as your first promotional step. Tell us about that. Why do you suggest that people who want to run a book review campaign make a video? And then how do you do that? Like, what goes into that video?
Mhm. Make a video is because all of the social media or ad spaces are getting more and more video heavy. Like, people expect that video content, and that's what they scroll and engage with. There are less and less people, like on Substack, we still engage with long form content, but there's smaller and smaller number of people who are scrolling through written stuff. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Substack. Um, Even if you go, like, I don't do Threads or Blue Sky, but everywhere the video content is something that people involve, including the ad space. Like, if you're doing ads in any of those spaces, video is also very, very primary and what a lot of people interact with. When I talk about video, it doesn't always mean video of your own face. I find it very easy to be on camera and record my face. You absolutely do not have to. If you feel comfortable, go for it and record it. But it can be a video, like a little trailer that you can put together, or you can put just like one video, like what I call B-roll, and you absolutely cannot take that as somebody's. You can either record it of your own, where you can just record a video of you panning across the book, or you hold your book in your hand and then you just like turn it around. I have this nifty device where I put my phone here and then I record stuff underneath, so that I can just turn, like, you can take your book and flip through the pages, or you can just take a B-roll. You can take a walk in the park. It depends on what book you have. Or you can go to things like Deposit Photos and purchase B-roll videos if you're writing sci-fi and you want something that is more exciting and goes with your genre. Do not take videos from Pinterest that somebody else created. That is a no-no. You want those videos to be either you created them yourself or you go out and you purchase them for the B-roll. And then afterwards, you need to be very, very calling in the people who are your ideal readers. And I know we talked about it, and it's kind of hard to say, "What? Who are my ideal readers? Everybody's gonna like my book." No, no, no. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. You're going to put your cover so people see and relate to a cover. For example, I have very different covers. Where are my books? Here, like, I have this cover versus this cover, like, very different covers, right? The cover is going to signal what is this book about, and that's a whole other conversation. I love Beth's covers. She has such beautiful covers, and they like really telegraph the genre, and that's what it's going to do. So in one corner or somewhere, or if you're just flipping through your book, they will see the cover, and then you're going to do whatever tropes or anything that is hyper specific that will call the right reader. For one of my books, I put fake dating billionaire second chance. Yeah, if you're looking for cozy fantasy, you're not going to be coming to my ARC reading campaign, because if you don't like fake dating billionaire second chance, and that book was spicy, so I said spicy, fake dating billionaire second chance. People who are like, "Oh my God, that's like what I love reading," they're going to come because that's who you want. You want people who love reading that.
That's great.
And then, yeah, I'm going to stop here. So
yeah. Other options are Canva as well. I'm a paid user of Canva, so I would go there, for example, for my stuff if I were doing this. And Canva, you can make videos in. Leona, let's give her a round of applause. She is prepping to launch her debut fantasy. Woo! So, any questions you have about that, or anyone else have questions about what we're talking about, how to get reviews? So we're going into great detail about how to make a video. Once you have this video that highlights your cover, that highlights your tropes, so you attract your right reader, then you send it out on social media. I know you're a big Instagram user, so you're putting it on Instagram and some of the other social sites. And then what do you say? What do you say to people to entice them in that first messaging?
In the first messages, so I want very clear messaging, both on the video and as your first text underneath the post, ARC readers wanted, advanced like ARC readers know. Usually people who are ARC readers know what ARC is. ARC readers wanted. That's your big thing. And then you have to be very specific. Well, one other thing with videos, if there is any voiceover, which what you can do, if you record a B-roll, you can voice over things. You don't have to use your face, but if you have a nice voice, you want to voice over, you can say, oh, ARC readers wanted for billionaire spicy second chance romance. And you can give a little description of you. But again, like those are usually, I want to say up to a minute. You don't want to go higher than that, 30 seconds to a minute. You want them to be fairly contained because you want people like, oh, yeah, I want this, and go and do it. And then if you have anything that's spoken, either your face or voiceover, put subtitles on it. Subtitles hugely help because a lot of people don't actually listen. They watch and they look at the subtitles. So that is a huge thing that I recommend to have on your screen. And then, so you want ARC readers wanted on the screen in your post, and then you want to direct them very clearly multiple times. Where are they going? I usually direct my people to my website because my website is fairly easy. It's galarusauthor.com. And I say, go to galarusauthor.com and sign up. And then what I do is I put that as I speak. I put that on the screen, I put that in the post, and then I change all of my social media things. All of the headers on my profile, they say, to subscribe for my ARC readers, go and either my website address or places where you can put a direct link, the only link you have on your profile for the duration of your ARC campaign, which is usually a week or two. You can put it back to your normal profile, just the link to where it is. And because I prefer to do it on my website, if you have a website, what I do is on my homepage, I make the giantest banner. The first thing they see when they come to my galarusauthor.com is, this is the ARC campaign. Click here to subscribe. And usually that is what takes them to a form. But it's highly, highly important to, like, you think, oh, it's very easy. They will remember. They will know where to go. Trust me, no. Many times repeat and make it very easy. If you say, oh, and go to galarusauthor.com/, my newest novel, ARC campaign, that is too long of a link. Just no, it's too hard for people. As short as possible, ideally on your homepage. So the only thing that they need to know is your website. And then again, all of the profile hats everywhere. You can put the link in the signature of your email, in your newsletter, everywhere, any kind of messaging you go out, that's where you're directing for that week or two of the ARC campaign when you're gathering people to be your ARC readers.
That's great. That's great. And just a quick question from Alexis, who's reading the online transcript. Yes, ARC is all caps. And most people who are looking for those books and are interested in being part of ARC campaigns totally understand that. And it's very typical because often you're doing this right before the book launches, right? So that, or right after the book launches. And maybe there's some overlap. What kind of timing?
Yeah.
When
I personally, if everything goes well, want to give my ARC readers a month. It really depends on how big of a book it is. Like if you are writing an 80K plus book, I would give ARC readers a month. And what a lot of time happens is that they read right when they get it, and then they read right before the deadline. And then in the middle, there is kind of a lull. But I find that that's the same thing with anything. Like if you run a sales campaign, it's the same thing. People buy who want it right away, and then right before the deadline, and in the middle. And we are going to talk about, like, we can talk about, oh my God, are we already at 30 minutes? Oh, no, we're only at 15 minutes. Oh, I was like, oh my God, are we running out of time? Because I also send them a reminder emails. We're going to talk about that. But yeah, I usually give them a month. So if my launch is the 30th of September, then I want to decide who my ARC readers are by the 30th of August. So it usually will mean that I will start my ARC campaign. Hey, come and be my ARC reader on the 15th of August. So I give them about 2 weeks. Yeah. And like when I launch, I want, my goal usually is at least 300 people applying. Because if I have 300 people applying, on average, that will result in about 100 reviews. Because there is a lot of drop-offs. People who apply, some of them I will not accept because they don't fit the criteria. Then some of them will never even pick up when I send them the copy. Some of them don't even open, and on BookFunnel, that is what I send my copies through. You can see who opened, who didn't. Some of them don't even open, and then out of the ones who opened, some of them don't finish, and even out of those who finish, they don't actually write reviews, or they don't write reviews by the launch time. So I would say this is a pretty good scenario. If 30% of your people who applied end up sending you reviews, that is great. So if your goal is, and I always recommend to have a goal of at least 50 Amazon reviews, because like there are certain things in the algorithm that start kicking in if you get at least 50 reviews on Amazon. If you get 100, your visibility gets even more boosted. But if your goal is to get 50 Amazon reviews, it means you have to have at least 150 people apply and finish your form. So the math is mathing there. So you need a lot more people. If you expect that everybody who applies to your campaign is going to read it, you're going to be for a rude awakening. It does not work that way.
Yeah. So let's answer a few questions in the chat. Alexis wanted us to spell out what does ARC stand for, and I told her Advanced Reader Copy. Did I get that right? Yep. And she asks, is it reasonable to send ARC readers a PDF instead of a paperback copy? And I said, absolutely. Right. And
yes and no.
Okay.
Absolutely no PDF. Absolutely no paperbacks are expected these days. I would say I only send paperbacks to my street team, if at all. Like, do not do it unless unless you have a big budget, or to people who are influencers who you want for them to hold up your copy when they're talking about it. But you're not sending out 300 paperbacks. I would urge you not to send PDFs, though. I would highly recommend send it in an ebook format, because it is very hard to read a PDF. Like, I read mine on Kindle. It is so hard to read a PDF on Kindle. It's not impossible, but I have to make it bigger and smaller. EPUB and vast majority, there's so many free places where you can convert to an EPUB. Calibri, I think, is one of them. If you have any other apps for formatting, like Atticus, or what's the other one that people use for Vellum for Apple, it'll give you an EPUB format.
And also Draft to Digital is also where you can convert your files into EPUB for free. You use BookFunnel to deliver your ARC copies. That's also a place to give away books and other kinds of promotional campaigns. So bookfunnel.com, it's $30 a year for the basic price, and allows you to do this. So Alexis, also congrats, is launching her book, Portrait of an Artist as a Young Woman, coming up September 8th. So for someone like Alexis, I don't know, Alexis, if you're doing any kind of review campaign like this, but you can also do it after your book launches, right? I mean, as an independent author.
No, too late.
Yeah,
there's no too late. You want to do it as early as possible, but at the same time, you can do it anytime. If now is the time that you finally have the time, you're going to do it now. If you already launched and that's when you have the time, you're going to do it then. You can do it at any time.
Yes, yes. And I want to emphasize that, because I don't know about you, Gala, but as an independent author, I'm often exhausted by the time the publishing date rolls around. I've put so much time and energy just to get it to this point. I often run campaigns around my birthday just because the energy is high in June. And so it doesn't matter, maybe the pub date was 3 months, 4 months, 5 months before that. And then I'm like, it's my birthday. Hey, you all, running an art campaign, and now it's not an art campaign now, because there's no advanced reader copies.
No.
Now it's just a book review campaign.
Correct.
So we encourage you not to feel so hung up on the rules around launching. Those really will build around traditional publishing. If you're an independent author, you get to set the calendar that works for you, for your body, for your rhythm, for your happiness. So I just want to emphasize that. Also want to say it's genre specific. You are writing romance, and romance, there's a lot of certain reader expectations around romance. And it's actually, to me, your numbers are really high. I don't think I ever got that many people to sign up to do book reviews for me, maybe 50. I never got 300, but also I wasn't running it like you. I didn't try video. I'll have to try that next time. let's see. Alexa says, I had no idea it would be better to be sending the ebook instead of the PDF. This has been very helpful. Thanks, Beth and Gala. You're so welcome, Alexis. We're going to go another 10 minutes. Let's talk about some of the logistics around once everyone, once you get people to come in, fill out this very extensive form, and we'll be putting that in the companion article that goes with this. If you're willing to share that information.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
She's vetting her ARC readers. You want to vet your people. Make sure we're trying to find the ones who will follow through. Basically, people who've had experience posting book reviews and things like that. Then, yeah,
I am okay with people who are brand new. I am okay with people who are brand new. I have found a lot of people super enthusiastic, and this was their very first ARC campaign. I am all for people trying things and doing it. That's why the form is so helpful, because even if they don't have it, maybe they didn't do the reviews, but if they put like, oh, but I review books on Instagram that I have read, or like they show that they're interested and they're excited. A lot of times first-time reviewers are actually a great audience, because they need that leg up, because some people only say, I only take you if you already have X number of reviews. So that's where if you go to their good, they still will give you their Goodreads, and they still will give you their whatever social media they're using, and you can see how are they reviewing just books that they read. Like they haven't done it for another specific author. These are just those are not ARC reviews; those are their general reviews. So you're going to see that, but it could be their very first ARC review. And I have that question, and that is not a disqualifier. That is actually a lot of times very excited people who are eager, who want to get into that ARC review community so that they can get books for free to read.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. And just to let everyone know, there are also services out there that will manage this for you for a fee, like Hidden Gems, for example. And I have used those too, in addition to my own campaigns. Now, because I'm old school, I promote via my list to generate my reviewers, my ARC reviewers. I give them first dibs. And my last book came out 4 years ago. Red Running Deep. It's way back there. Can't reach it. Here's a copy of it. I actually ran a Kickstarter for it. So that was the campaign I ran, really, was a Kickstarter for this book, and which was my way of pre-selling the book and things like that. It is because it's challenging to get reviews for a fourth book in a series. So I just decided to do a Kickstarter instead. I still could, but you definitely want to have read books 1 through 3 to get the most out of reading book 4. So that's probably a whole other conversation. Like, do you run book campaigns for books further along in the series? And I'm actually going to do an ebook bundle for this series. Yeah. I'm inspired now to run a campaign for it. Why not?
Absolutely run it for further in the series, and absolutely use your newsletter. 100%. Those are the first people. Hopefully they are ARC team or street team people who are in your newsletter should be the ones you go to first. Depending on your newsletter, I just don't I don't think I can get more than 50 people off of my newsletter to review consistently, because not everybody is like, even if they're your hugest supporters, just people's lives are different. And doing an ARC read there's certain time parameters, and there's certain time involved. And some people, even if they're going to read your book, they just might not be able to read it in the time that you're asking them for the ARC review. So yeah, I do both. That's the starter, that's the core, and then everybody else is on top of that. And then as you do this ARC campaigns, as you grow with each book, your core ARC reader people are going to grow. So first thing first, I send it to my newsletter, and I send it to people who already did ARC reviews for me. And then on top of that, I go and I do. So when I do the videos, one thing that I say also is I do an advertising campaign, very small. I do for about at least 5 days, about $5 a day. It's not that expensive. So it's like $25. Or if you can do 10 days and do $50, it will absolutely bring you a lot more people, because it's going to start pushing it outside of the people who normally watch you. So that is helpful to get the ARC readers. And the other thing that you've said is you did a Kickstarter. What I do is, when I do with my ARC readers, I do a pre-sale campaign. So I basically sell my either paperback or a bundle of paperback and ebook, or just an ebook at a discounted rate to people who are part of my ARC campaign. So as I run my ARC campaign, I also say, hey, because you're doing this ARC campaign, and if you really are liking this book, and if people like your book in the ebook, a lot of times they want a shelf trophy. They want it to be in paperback, and you say, okay, I'm gonna for you, I'm gonna do a discount, and I usually give a significant discount, like a 20% off my paperback, and you can buy it here. And I usually direct them to my personal website. So I don't do this is like a direct sale. Again, along the conversation, a direct sale. They buy it from me. It is signed. It has a lot of those cutesy things where I put the bookmarks and the stickers and whatever else that you cannot get anywhere. It's kind of like similar to Kickstarter, right? You're
direct sales.
Yeah,
So
you're doing direct sales.
I had a question about ads, because this is an area that I am not experienced in. So when you mention the ads, is that via Instagram?
So Instagram is Meta Universe. So it's not Instagram. It is via Meta Business.
Okay.
You can also. I only did it there. I've also done it via TikTok. For me, because I'm not on TikTok as much, I kind of like repost to TikTok, but I don't like interact on it as much. I had a worse result on TikTok and I had a better result on Instagram. I did not run it on Facebook, but you absolutely through the Meta Business can run it on Facebook and Instagram, or just Facebook or just Instagram.
Got it.
And then Reddit, you can also run it on, I want to say Pinterest. I haven't done it myself. I actually looked into Reddit. I just never did it. So there's so many different places where you can run a campaign. And again, like I am not the kind of author. If you have $100 spent a day, you're going to have way better results. Still running 10 days of a campaign, $5 a day, plus like all of my previous people, because that was like book number 8 or 9. Yeah, I can reach 300 applicants.
And then once you have, so you give yourself a 2-week window to say, hey, hey, ARC reader, come on down, fill out this form. You get people to fill out the form. And then 4 weeks out to your launch date, you're emailing your ARC readers.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yes.
And you have an email process that I saw in the notes. I thought was really helpful. In the next 2 minutes, can you run that down for us?
I recommend 5 emails. You can do more. If you do more, it's actually better. But do you have time? I recommend 5. Number 1, welcome to the ARC team. Here's the download link. One of the things I also include there, I include direct links to my book on all of the review platforms. Direct link to Amazon, Goodreads, BookBub, blah, blah, blah. Like there are 7, 8 links. I want to make sure that all they need to do is click, and they don't have to go and look for anything. Alexis, what form? Yes, there's going to be a sample. We're going to put, I have a Google form. So let's do this again. They see the video. It says, go to galarasauthor.com to enroll to be an ARC, to apply to be an ARC reader. They go to galarasauthor.com. There is a banner that says, click here to fill out your application form. That takes them to a Google form, and we're going to show you an example. And they need to answer a bunch of questions. And I run that for about 1 week to 2 weeks. And then at that point, I have my 300 people. I look through them, and the ones that fit what I'm looking for, I send them this email number 1. Welcome to the ARC Reader team. You have been selected. Congratulations. Here's the download link to BookFunnel. And here are all the places you can put the review for the book, which are the direct links to all of the different review sites. Make it as easy as possible. Then mid-reading, so if you have a month, so 2 weeks in, send them another email and say, hey, how are you doing? How are you liking this so far? Here are all the links where you can post the reviews. I've already seen several people who submitted their reviews, and these are the feedbacks, and oh, people are liking it. I hope you're going to leave the reviews. Then number 3, a few days before the launch, let's say 5 to 3 days before the launch, that you send another email and says, please don't forget to review it. And the best, most important for me are Amazon and Goodreads. Here they are. But also you can review them here, blah, 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 blah. Then it's the release day. You send another email and say, today is the biggest impact. If you haven't done your review, please do today. It's the release day. It's the biggest present you can give me. The biggest support is leaving the review. Amazon Goodreads link, or link. And then about 1 week post the release, I send them, hey, thank you for everyone. These are the release results. I've had this and this great feedback from people. If you haven't done yours yet, don't you worry. It's never too late. You can post your review anytime. And here are all the links. So that's my 5 review campaign email.
Yeah, that's great. So Alexis, it's GalaRussAuthor.com, and you don't have one up right now.
No, I don't.
I have one going up all the time. It's actually for beta readers, so it's a little different. So I can put that in the chat. I have one like a standing form that I send.
I have a link in when I sent you the email. If you look at number 2, ARC application form, I have an example of questions there, and I have a link to one of my old forms that if you want to paste, they can go and
I'll go ahead and put this in the chat.
Go and fill it out. It's like I'm not going to contact you to be an ARC reader, but you can just go and fill it out one by one to see all of those questions that I ask. You don't have to ask that many, but like they'll give you ideas.
It didn't look like too many. You'll probably have to copy that link from the chat, Alexis, and we'll be sure to put it in the follow-up article that goes up in a day or two. So this has been really great. Let's close here. We have so much to talk about always, but I hope that this was helpful to you. Thank you for all the questions, Alexis and everyone. We're wrapping up. Just to let you know, Gala is offering a fabulous Write Your Novel 101 this coming fall, and she has a wait list page that you can sign up for if you'd like to learn more about that. And I'm putting that into the chat because it's a complicated link. And
you can also always work one-on-one with me. So if you have questions about your campaign, you can always book. I have one-on-one consultations. If you go to my website, then that was up there, right? GalaRussAuthor.com. Work with me. There is a consultation link. You can go and you can just book an hour with me, and I can review your ARC campaign. I can help you set up or answer any questions. I'm very, very happy to help one-on-one with marketing specifically. I do not have any marketing courses.
That's great. So I also put the link in the chat to sign up for Gala Russ's 15-minute consultation if you just want to get to know Gala, or you can pay her for a consultation. And if you are curious, and so Leona, the chat, I don't think follows us during the replay. It's the only downside about Substack, but all of these links will follow up. We'll be putting an article up, but if you saw something that you didn't catch, go ahead and ask us for it right now. I will pop it in there.
Or in the comments when this goes live. It's going to go live in like 10-15 minutes after we are done.
Yeah.
Edit in the comment section. We'll reply to all the comments. We can add links and answer any of the questions you might have. And if you're watching this in replay, didn't have time to ask your questions, comment. We'll answer all of your questions.
Absolutely. And I will be, so I run Edit Lab, which is for people who are editing their science fiction and fantasy novel. Gala comes to that. If you are curious about that and want to get started with editing your science fiction or fantasy novel, go ahead and check out my Edit Your Novel Checklist. That's at edityournovelchecklist.com. I feel like I'm an advertiser there because I am. And you can learn all about it. I help people in this monthly live call, and as well as an in-depth mastermind, and as well as one-on-one in-depth coaching and consulting on everything from the idea stage, the writing stage, the editing stage, marketing, and publishing. Leona's like, I want to download all the forms for my new books. That's so exciting, so exciting. And I want to give you an example, if I could find it. Oh, my website is being really slow. Okay. How I have a standing form for beta readers, which is the earlier stage. I also want to say next week we're going to talk about street teams. You mentioned street teams. And coming up in September, we have some really great topics for you. But if you have questions that we haven't answered, please let us know in the comments, and we can answer them in the comments and maybe do a full episode. So
We
yeah,
had several good ideas for the upcoming fall episodes. So if you have like, oh, I want to know more about this, or how does that work? Please leave us comments. And we love answering your questions, not just coming up with random things that we think are important.
that's right. We're good at that too. Yeah. So next Monday, same time, will be how to run a street team, and also tomorrow at the same time, I will be interviewing Iman Lompart on how to protect your creative capacity, and that will be on our Creative Entrepreneur Incubator. And you also, Gal, you do Substack Lives with other writing teachers as well. Do you have something planned coming?
Yes, I do my Substacks on Thursdays at 9 a.m. Pacific, and I pretty much always interviewing a new person. And the last week of August, I actually work with exactly the same person over and over. Those who know me, I am a little bit obsessed with K dramas. And as a craft nerd, I also love to dissect K dramas and the screenwriting and what do they do, and how can we as novelists use the same elements to make our own writing addictive. So the last week of every month, and this is what's coming up, I always meet with Rami Sommer, and she's a fellow K drama nerd, and we talk about different craft aspects, and we look at how a K-drama is doing them and how can we as novelists do them. But on all of the other weeks, it's different. The last week's episode was on Inciting Incident with Carrie Savage. So good. I really love Carrie. And you can always go to my Substack, subscribe, and just look through. I have so many cool past recordings you can watch at your leisure.
That's so great. Folks are putting their email in the chat. We can't really grab those, but if you want to sign up for our respective lists, go ahead and do that. For Gala at galarusauthor.com, or you could go for mine, you could go to edityournovelchecklist.com, or just my name, bethbarany.com, or subscribe to our Substacks, or just reach out to us with whatever it is that you need. We can help you, but it's I don't know what to do with all your emails. Thank you for putting them in there, but I don't know what you want. So you're welcome to just let us know what you need, and we can get you where you need to go. We're going to hop off for today. But thank you so much, everyone, for coming. We love to see this lively bunch. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week. Follow us on Substack to hear about our other lives that we do. And happy writing. I guess
happy writing. Keep writing.
Bye.
Bye.
It's not ending. There you go.